Great drama. We missed that for Ray. So a lot of stuff going on, but yeah, the Star Wars stuff, I mean, he's allowed to say whatever he wants, but I did, when I saw that trailer, and this is what a lot of people are saying too, and it's taken almost like a, I don't know if it's like a dog whistle or whatever, but it's true. I wanted Finn to be the main character. I wanted Finn to go from Stormtrooper to Jedi, and think about all the trauma these, and if we can have the same backstory, let's theory craft a little bit. We can have the same exact backstory. So the new, the last, what are they called? The First Order. The First Order doesn't have a pipeline of making stormtroopers. There's no cloning. There's no Imperial academies. There's no military schools. So they literally steal children at a young age and raise them to be stormtroopers. What kind of trauma does a person go through with that? Now, bring in the Force, the dark, the light, the conflict between the both. With all that trauma that you've lived through as a stormtrooper in this environment, that is just amazing story and drama and such opportunity. That's just, it's just gone. Like that story is just so much more, man, it's just so much more hard hitting. You know what I mean? It's already hitting me. It's like, shit, like imagine what that person went through. And now imagine giving them power and having them deal with that power and choosing to be good. Everyone wanted a Force-censored, saber-wielding Finn. Dude, when we saw that trailer at the very end, did you remember the video that he was watching with like his dad? And he lit up that lightsaber and he's like, oh my God. He, like dapped him up real fast. Oh my God. We would have had that with Rian Johnson? You think so? Or we wouldn't have? Like something you highlighted, the First Order presumably had conscription, and so did the Jedi. That's true. That's true. That's true. That's a great parallel to have. And then what would Luke's take be on something like that? Because he's going a different way. You can still have Kylo Ren destroy the Order and all that whole stuff, but what does Luke, that conflict between Luke and Finn because of that? He says, you know, have Finn be like, you're no different. You're no different than the First Order. Your order is no different than them. You're just trying to use me. Great storytelling, great drama. We missed that for Ray. Sorry. If Finn was Force sensitive, oh, I'm glad you're good, Lewis. If Finn was Force sensitive, you could have had a really compelling framework to have a Jedi from the First Order. Exactly. Exactly. Too bad about Velcomer. Indeed. Indeed. Dude, Finn's story would have been amazing. Tension. So much tension. But it is true. And I'll tell you what's true that he said. He's not lying when he said that people wouldn't allow him to be the lead. I mean, I know that there was people, a-holes, who think that and say that online, even in real life. Terrible people. You know that's true. You know that's true. So, I mean, but I also blame Disney. Disney didn't pull the trigger on that. Disney had some other thing that they wanted to do. And they also put a mask on Chadwick Boseman. And they also made John Boyega really, really tiny in certain markets. Because they want to make money in those markets. Call it for what it is. It's freaking terrible. Honestly, I don't think we, as American companies, as American art, I don't care what China thinks. What do you care? Make your art. And then as like Americans, we should boost these movies up, man. I think Marvel learned that too. Marvel, they were trying to get like Black Widow or something in China, and then they weren't allowed in China, so they said screw it, and then it made a good amount of money here. Yeah. Finn's whole arc was to reckon with Phasma. Yeah. That would have been cooler too. Like imagine Phasma was a badass fighter and he was a Jedi. That would have felt so sweet. Does he take revenge on someone who has put him down, forced him to do terrible things, abused him? What does he do since he has power now? Another great question. Another great question. What do you do when you have power? Are you going to be any better than the people who oppressed you? Oh, dude, I hope someone's writing all this stuff down. This is gold. This is gold. I love it. That already hit me. Whew. That's good. 6 foot tall silver stormtrooper conveniently gets off ship before the Holdo maneuver. Yeah. She was supposed to come back after falling in a fire pit? How tall is John Boyega? How tall is he? John Boyega. He's 5'9". Ah, I'm taller than him by an inch. Yes. Taller than him by an inch. This is the cowardice I was talking to you about when I commented on your DD video. Yes. Yes. Exactly. Screw them. If they don't want our content, they don't need to have it. I don't want their money. If you have to change your art to be going against somebody like him because of the way he looks for their money, do you really want that? But I'll go ahead and thank the camps in Mulan. Go ahead and thank those camps. I don't know, I'm on a hot one with this one, man. Because it's true on both cases. There are people who live among us who would talk and call it, you know, the W word and all this other stuff. I don't even know if it existed back then. It did within that community. It didn't in the mainstream. Not until Childish Gambino, I'd say. I think we're going to be an age where people are making their own stories, which I'm down for that. I'm down too. I'm down too. And again, like, imagine having the technology with Unreal or Blender or something like that, where you can, like the Clone Trooper video we watched earlier. Imagine having the type of technology where you can easily animate something like that and just put it out. Put it out. You may not be able to make money off it because you don't own the IP, but you can at least put your creativity out there, and you can right now with fan fiction. I think in a visual medium, though, there's always a barrier. There's always a barrier of technology, of money with capital. But writing, by the way, you guys, if you ever have an idea, writing is so cheap. Writing is cheap. You have a phone. I know you have a phone. You're watching it here. You have a computer. You have a piece of paper and a pencil. No one can ever take that from you. Unless they take your pencil and your paper. But writing is the cheapest form of art, of a storytelling that you can get down. So never let that get in your way. Stormtrooper suit preserve atmosphere and climate controlled. Like we see them wearing a full kit in tanks and armor. Yeah, in Andor. So I think she can probably survive a vacuum. I think so too. But I mean, yeah, we're never gonna see. I was talking to the Nerd Dame about this, and I blame Rian Johnson. I don't know. But like JJ, I blame JJ too, because he doesn't know how to end stuff. He just knows how to start stuff with a mystery box. I'm not the biggest JJ fan, although I do like Star Trek, the 2009 movie. But if you watch everything that he does, he's like, oh, what if we had a polar bear? Where's that come from? No idea. Figure it out, and he leaves. Even what's her name? Rey is like, where'd you get this lightsaber? A story for another time. We never get the answer. Do we ever get the answer? We probably get an answer in a book, or a comic or something. Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Terminator were new concepts that became popular. So now we're in an age where it's easier now more than ever for people to get their works out there. Dude, I agree. You know, just like I said, this thing shoots 4K 60. At least 4K 30. You can shoot 4K 24. And like you can get a cheap computer and film even 1080p, and you can get your idea out there. The barrier to entry into creative fields has never been lower, more obtainable. But again, if you wanted to write, you can always write. You can always write. You can always write. Don't let anyone take that from you.